Hello my dear students, welcome back to our War on Sea Let's Play series as the US Naval Forces once again, following straight off from a previous episode as ever, a somewhat slower episode if you ask me, but very nice goals were made. We did of course take the neutral islands finally, and we did secure our position around Guadalcanal with some submarines destroyed, which is absolutely brilliant, what with our carriers out now. And of course, as a few of you have mentioned, without any destroyer escorts, which is something I do plan on rectifying. It is absolutely a massive oversight and misplay to not protect our massive assets like that. So once we do get resupplied with command points, I am going to look at giving them a couple destroyers each at least to scout out or defend any submarines around them, because of course our destroyers with our main task forces will not be around constantly to babysit them for the rest of the game. So, having said that, what we're going to do is do a massive review of our wins and losses once we get to the strategic map and see where we can go from here. So let's have a look at that now, shall we? Alrighty then, so what have we done? I did say we'd take all of these neutral islands, but I was completely forgot, so we're absolutely wrong on that. We are about to take the Vella with Marne here with 150 troops. We are of course escorting them with some Wildcats. They do only have 9 kilometers left of endurance, but what's going to happen is I think I'm going to wait until night time to push up the Marne to that, unless, how long is that going to take? So it's going to take 2.4 hours. We have shot down a lot of planes from the Shortland Islands. In fact, all of the Emilies and all of the Mavises. I think we'll be just about alright with that. And of course, once it becomes night time, we will lose sight of this destroyer force over here. Do not be fooled yet again by the fog of war saying that is a cruiser task force. We've scouted this many times and we know it is 2 destroyers. So that's absolutely fine. We do know there's a submarine over here, so we are going to scout that out and possibly hit it, depending on the speed of the aircraft we send over there and whether they're able to get it before it submerges. As far as a strategic standpoint goes, we have of course got a level 2 airfield now on Guadalcanal. And that is brilliant stuff. That, like we said in the previous episode, gives us more Dauntlesses and gives us a flight of Mitchells to use as well as increasing the capacity of Wildcats and Air Cobras, which is absolutely brilliant. So we can certainly use them to defend Guadalcanal as and when we please. So having said that, what we're going to do is take our really large cargo escorts, our cargo task forces rather, and we're going to go all the way back to Australia, and that's going to take 86 hours for this group just to get there. So this is going to be a rather large operation, but unfortunately it is all we're going to be telling them to do in the coming months. I think the smaller group can actually go to the New Hebrides, because by the time it gets there we should of course be resupplied. And how much stuff do we have there at the moment? We do only have a tiniest bit of engineering and 0 fuel. So what we're going to do is, of course, wait, like I said, to be resupplied and see how that carries on once we have been resupplied. But we do, of course, have this small task force here, which will be able to pick up troops and supplies, again, by the time we get resupplied to go over to Guadalcanal. And that would be great stuff there, just to help that a tad. As far as losses go, and as far as the dockyard goes, we are looking fairly decent. Only 9 more days for our Portland to come out, and that'll be all of our heavy cruisers which have been sent back to repair. And of course we have the Warrington here, which took massive damage. That has 12 more days to go. Just a nice little update there. Not very long at all to wait for these, which is excellent stuff. They're very much needed. As far as our losses, true losses go, not too bad at all. Just a few destroyers on the course of Brooklyn, which got shot by the Nagato. Feels like a lifetime ago now since that happened. But yeah, never forgotten, of course. Enemy losses, of course, have been monumental, though, over the course of the past few weeks. Absolutely massive. We've sunk an Akitsumaru Ryujo, a Chitose, and what I thought was a Ryuho was actually a Zuiho carrier, which of course does carry a very similar stock of planes, but the difference is it has a higher capacity of vowels on top of it, which is absolutely brilliant. It's great that we got rid of that, especially since it is the only Zuiho in the class. The Shoho, of course, being sunk few engagements before Guadalcanal occurred, which is excellent stuff. We have, like I said, sunk a lot of Japanese submarines. So we're going to check the availability of those. As far as Type A's are concerned, they have only one more available. We've sunk the other two. B's, they do have rather a large stock of those, but as you can see, we have sunk, I think, the majority of them there, which is absolutely brilliant. So while we are unprotected with our carriers so far, it is still needed, of course, to get some destroyers over there. As far as Type B Mod 1s, they have 6 in total. We haven't sunk any of those yet. I don't think Type Cs are actually available. Otherwise, they do have all 8 of those remaining. So, with that being said, what are we going to do today? Well, like I said, we might have a look at sorting out this destroyer task force. Definitely going to look at sorting out this submarine straight off the bat. What I'm going to do there, I think, is get actually some faster aircraft than Catalinas. I'm going to go for some, what is the distance? 200 kilometers. We should be okay with air cobras to get there with some bombs. And yeah, we're going to take one 250-pound bomb with a flight of 8 of them. Going to go straight over, see if we can get that very quickly. Hopefully they'll have the speed and the tactical view to sort this out before it submerges. We are going to try and bomb this group again. We're going to try and do that with Catalinas. We're going to go with all 8 and we're going to level bomb them, hopefully with, I think, semi-armor piercing, because as we know they are destroyers. I'm thinking AP may just go straight through the decks. It'd be great stuff. Of course, we can scout this out. I do think that is a submarine again, and just to get some use out of our airfields here, we are absolutely going to look at that. Going to take some bow fighters with some bombs over there to have a look at that. Otherwise, what we're going to do is the usual scouting, offensive scouting with some bow fighters outside of Milne Bay into the Solomon Sea, and just do a very nice pattern like that. There we go, take some more. And we will just scout out a slightly closer range to port there and have a look around there. Once they've got out, we'll launch some lightnings from Port Moresby. We do have 5 available, and we're going to launch some air cobras to support them in the rear. As far as other scouting goes, going to launch some from the, I think, the Astoria. We're going to go with launch aircraft here and go straight up like this. Shouldn't have too much of an issue there with fighters and such. Should be okay, really. Of course, the Shokak is still lurking about, and I don't think we shot down any roofs from the Shortland Islands, so I have to watch out there. But it should not be a problem at all. We can always retreat out and have a look at that. Could launch something from the Australia. No, because that has its catapults damaged. Cannot launch anything. We do have some very light short-range scouts from the Mauritius here. And of course we can launch, I think we're going to launch some more Wildcats from the Bogue over here. You know, I'm going to send them all to the Marne. If we find that, like that. And they can replace the retreating Wildcats as they refuel onto the Wasp. And that'd be great stuff. We're going to launch, of course, from the Renault Island over here. And that's going to go, I think, in this sort of direction. Just a straight line to have a look. A poke over there, I think. Going to launch some Catalinas, I think, with some bombs just for a bit more endurance. And in case they do spot something up here, they can probably hit it. And in the meantime, I will keep on scouting and come back to you with a report in a second. Alrighty then, so it does look like our air cobras have come into contact with the submarine over here. Let's get it onto the binoculars so we absolutely identify it on the map. And we're going to go straight in right now, tell everything to attack. Just get them in before it submerges fully, and hopefully hit it with our air cobras here. Simply because this is just the safest way to engage us at the moment. Whether we hit it or not, absolutely fine. I will go either way. I would obviously be very happy if we could sink it here, but we don't need to worry too much. It's a bit of an outside threat at the moment, but we are coming in to hit it, coming in to drop right now. Doesn't look like it's trying to submerge too quickly. It is having a little bob there. See how it goes. Nah, just a little too early there maybe. How about the second group? Nah, probably should have put them a little bit lower down, because of course the AA is non-existent there, and this is of course going to submerge. Not a problem, that's absolutely fine. We can go back and scout for that later, not a problem at all. We're going to use the remaining endurance from the Air Cobras to have a small scout outside of the base here. Like this. Only have a few kilometers left, so just going to go a little more northerly and see how that goes there. I'll see you in a second. And of course our Catalinas have come into contact with the two destroyers. It looks like they are hunting down the Marne, going for Veilevella. So I have pulled that back, so we are going to wait until night time, or unless, or in case we get rid of these as well, just to make it a tad safer. Now the way we're going to approach this is a little difficult. Of course, not too likely we'll hit a moving destroyer that is of course evading with our Catalinas here. But we're going to tell this lot to attack as they are now. This group, I think, is going to come to the north over here and approach above them from the bow of the ship. And I think this group, it's very difficult. I think I might tell it to do the same, just to give it some time to decide how to attack there. I am not going to bother too much about our formations here. Like I say, the destroyer being such a small target and of course fast moving, and we are quite likely going to lose Catalina here. It does look like they're smoking already, which is rather sad. I am going to tell this group to attack now actually, and this group can do the same. Just want to get some bombs off, see what happens there. This group can absolutely guess out. We're going to tell them to carry on in a straight path there. Should be alright, unless you get a lucky small arms fire off, lucky small flak there as well. See how that lands. And yeah, looks like we just straddled them again. Absolutely not ideal there, but giving us a lot of trouble, this group. And the second load missed as well. It's not looking good at all. This group should be dropping as well, and I'm sure they have there. So let's have a look at that. This is very tempting to send actually our surface group in to sort this out. And yeah, another miss there. It's difficult because with the Catalinas being so slow, they absolutely should level bomb, but the results are certainly less reliable as if we were going to attack from a lower altitude, as we did previously with the Mariners. We saw how that ended up with a few losses there. It's a difficult balance, very difficult balance, but they are destroyers, like we say. It is a tad of a difficult target. Not to worry though, not the biggest threat, like I say. If this were a larger fleet, I would absolutely be worried, but of course, just a patrolling force here. Let's go back to the map. Alright then, so let's tell this lot to actually retreat back to base, and we'll wonder about how to hit that later. In fact, why not just bring up our main task force to protect Darman? That's what it's for. We've shot down a lot of the aggressing planes over here. We do have wildcats in the area. Should be absolutely fine with that. So let's bring Armand back a little further. In fact, you can see the course there, which it is moving along. Should be absolutely fine for that. Let's have a look again, and I'll see you in a second. Alrighty then, so it does look like the enemy has raised all of the roofs off of the Shortland Islands. It looks like we have 12 here against our 11 Wildcats. I have sent out orders individually to attack every roof that we can. Should be a decent battle, should be quite in our favour. We have the numbers, and of course Wildcats should have more manoeuvrability over the roofs with the massive floats attached to them. Of course, roofs do have the firepower of Zeros, which is going to be a small problem for us. But not to worry, I'm sure our Wildcats can handle it. Let's see this opening salvo perhaps. No, grouping up on one Wildcat there. Absolutely a poor start there. Now Wildcats seeming to not bother shooting back in return, which is rather a poor show. Having said that though, that's our first one down. Lovely stuff. We've got some second aircraft down already. I'm going to switch the targets of 1 or 2 Wildcats just at the moment. Let's turn this one around here as well. Don't want them to overstack as they do previously. Such a weird habit that they have to do that. I'm going to tell this one to open up just a tad early, perhaps to get them while he's turning, but nope, absolutely not. We do look like we are converging all on one target yet again. Should not be doing that at all. I really don't like it when they do that, as you may tell. Let's try and get this one round. We are very rapidly removing roofs from the area here. Lovely stuff. That's exactly what we like to see. Wildcats finally behaving there, and I think we'll be just fine. Lovely, lovely stuff there. And there we have it. All of the roofs were shot down to 2 Wildcat losses there, which is rather unfortunate to lose them to roofs there. But of course, there were 12 roofs. Losses were perhaps unavoidable there, which is rather unfortunate. But you can see the destroyers here have moved down to Kolombangara here. Not a problem, not a problem. I'm sure they don't have any troops to take it. We just need to, like I say, bring up our main task force here and absolutely obliterate them. I do get the feeling, because they're destroyers, that will take longer than it should do. Could be quite a drawn-out engagement there, but we'll see. With the sheer amount of firepower, the sheer volume of firepower should absolutely rip them apart, but we will see about that. Otherwise, just scouting again, really, so I will see you in a second. Okay, so we're just going to interrupt the little montage there. We have come into contact with what looked like a cruiser task force on the map, so I thought I'd check this out. And it's not necessarily wrong. We have found a cruiser. It is not this one. It is the Kitakami of all things. So a very interesting target there. As I've said before, and I'm sure all of you are well aware, a lot of torpedoes there. in short. What I'm stopping this for is just to note that, if memory serves, this was part of the Ryujo escort, which means that if that's the case, they have taken that back to split us off into many other groups. We haven't sighted that task force for quite some time now, so it is very likely went back to Ribble. So interesting what they've done there. That does make me wonder whether some of them have gone back to the dockyard for release and repair, even though we didn't actually hit them. Just to, I don't know, supply, or just to shorten up any ships they have around in the operational area, or just, I don't know, to split them off into smaller patrols like this, I suppose. An interesting decision there, but something I definitely want to hit. I don't want to engage this in a surface engagement. Just because, well, just look at it, the sheer volume of torpedoes. I believe that's 20 per side. So, yeah, rather dangerous target. More dangerous than perhaps it might look at first with the lack of artillery there. So, yeah, there's just something to note there, something to note. I'll come back to you with another report in a minute. Perhaps we'll try and hit this. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, we have a minor engagement for you here. As you can see in front of you, we have come into contact with likely those 2 destroyers searching around Kolombangara and that string of islands there. We didn't actually come into contact with them on the strategic map, so I was expecting perhaps a submarine engagement here. So we have readied our radars and such. We're going to turn on sonar just in case. But that is why we are so close to them and already sighted here. So this is going to be battle stations immediately when we come into this. We could take some serious damage onto a mine, perhaps something, or some sort of destroyer, because they are so close. We're absolutely going to have to watch out for torpedoes here. So let's have a quick look at that. I am going to leave what do you call it? Auto gunnery on, auto fire on, just because they are so close, apparently. And there we are, yeah, right in front of us just there. So let's just identify them very quickly. This is, of course, the Submarine. I'm going to get the Atlanta straight onto that, and in fact, that is what it's firing at. So we're going to turn off that over here. Going to get, of course, HE narrow. Don't need to spot because it is very close. And we, like I said, we are going to identify that right now, and it is a Submarine. There we go. Let's get it to fire there. Very nice indeed. This one is going to give us a bit of trouble. I think it's either a Minakaze or a Kamikaze. We can see the torpedo launchers are turning there. So is that the case for the Submarine? It doesn't look like it, so we are going to have to be careful of that. Let's get all of our destroyers onto that to start off with. We're going to go fire like that. Let's try and identify it very quickly. Get some fun out of this, I think. It is a destroyer escort type. Certainly not a mommy because of the gun placements. That gives us away immediately. Quite likely a Minakaze, actually. No, it's not. The torpedo placements and the gun placements do not align with Minakaze, so it's not a Wakataki. It's quite likely a Kamikaze there. So that's what I'm going to identify it as just there. Not a Mutsuki because of torpedo placements. Quite likely Kamikaze there. So let's get Benham on that as well. Let's go with Submarine there and turn on to Kamikaze there. Thank you very much. I think we're going to get the we've got the Juno over there, haven't we? We're going to get the Australia to fire at the Kamikaze as well, like that, and we'll leave auto fire to the rest of it. Like I say, I'm going to watch out for these torpedoes over here. So let's just watch, and actually what we're going to do is I think we're going to tell people to turn away as soon as possible once we've noticed they have launched. The sheer volume of firepower should absolutely wreck them, and there we go, they have in fact launched. So what we're going to do is turn everything to port. Apart from our leading two destroyers here, they're going to form up on their own like that, and they're going to full speed ahead and turn around very sharply like that. Otherwise, Atlanta can lead everything else. No, I don't want to say everything else because line ahead would not necessarily mean they maneuver too quickly there. So what we're going to do is actually tell everything to brake and go individually there. That is going to, I think, turn around like that. Astoria can actually, I think, turn... I think that's going to turn out, actually. I don't want to risk anything there. Let's increase their speeds as well. Mauritius, I think, can turn in and at full speed like that. Juno, I think, can brake as well. Full speed and turn out like that. Australia can turn around the other way. And we'll keep an eye on that as they turn out, I think. Like that. There we go. Easy stuff, of course. It's just going to have to micro that a tad, but not a problem. We just need to keep an eye on it, and rather than tunnel vision on the damage over here. But as you can see, we're wrecking this Submarine. That is because we have two Atlantas onto that, and of course, so many guns. It does not stand a chance, and this is what we use American light cruisers for. Submarine's being struck by a friendly torpedo there. It's not having a great day at all there. Look at that. Disgusting. Kamikaze suffered a magazine explosion. Pure death and destruction there. I like it. But we are going to have to just take a second. I think we should be right with our turns at the moment. That is lovely stuff. And there you go, it's as easy as that. You know, I've been saying that that's been plaguing us for so long in the Straits here, but it's amazing how quickly they disappear as well. So we're going to tell the whole task force to go up to Vale of Aya, and just to occupy that very quickly before we do get resupplied. I would like that to tick over. How many points are we guessing at the moment? Guessing 88. This should bring us up to 90 command points once we take this, and that would be absolutely brilliant. The eagle-eyed among you may have noticed that there is a possible supply ship over here. I have launched some mariners with £1,000 AP bombs to take this out, and we are keeping an eye on this Kitakami over here with some bow fighters armed with bombs to have a look at that. Lovely stuff, having them words, you know, just telling the IJN where to go, and that's where to go is completely out of the Guadalcanal area, of course. Getting on top of my high horse here after just destroying a couple measly destroyers. I'm sure the Nagato will reappear in our face out of nowhere once again, and we will be taught a very nasty lesson just there. But otherwise, looking in a fairly decent position here. We do have what I suspect to be Hyabusas over here. They were chasing Lightnings and Bowfoots, which have landed, so hopefully they'll go back to Lai and the Cape of Gloucester and such. In the meantime, having said that, I'm going to relaunch some bow fighters out of here and have another scout out. We're going to go slightly deeper into enemy territory for now, because I do think there's got to be something there, hasn't there? We know there's something there. We had that Congo, the Nagato, the Shokaku. They can't just disappear, can they? They've got to be out there somewhere, and which is why we're looking out around Milne Bay as well. In fact, having said that, I'm going to launch some planes from Cookton. Going to go launch some bow fighters just to have a quick scout out around here in case they have managed to evade our radar. Do we have anything decent from here? We do, in fact, have some Bowfoots. We'll have slightly better range, I think, if we choose the right armament. Perhaps let's go with one bomb and just have a look out there, just in case. You never know. We could, of course, launch something from Milne Bay if we're that worried, which is, in fact, what we're going to do. We're going to take unarmed Kitty Hawks just to have a look in case we do get intercepted by any fighters. So, that being said, let's go. I'll see you in a second. Okay, so just joining me now at a very stressful moment. I do apologise. That's too concentrated on dodging some torpedoes launch just right off of our port bow, or port beam rather, from the Australia, right next to us. We've just narrowly managed to avoid them. It looks like I'm just about to narrowly avoid hitting the rest of our ships here. So I'm just going to turn around a tad, because I'm actually turning the Benham accidentally and the Jouet over here to actually go into the torpedo line there. So I'm going to tell everything else to stop, just to make sure we don't make things worse for ourselves. There we go. Come on, let's go down. Lovely stuff. Mauritius, you can stop as well. They are not going to hurt you. And the thing is, our county, our Australia over here, does actually come armed with depth charges. So I have lined up a few of those ready to hit the submarine. So let's just increase our speed a tad, I think to about 10 or 11-ish knots there. See how we're sitting over that. Let's actually turn around just a tad. Should be okay there. Lovely stuff. I'm actually going to tell our destroyers to just stop over here, because I'm very worried this I'm going to cause more damage than the torpedoes by myself there. Let's just do that. I think we should be okay. Lovely stuff. Let's go back to the Australia over here. And we are just over the submarine over there. Just going to turn a tad. I do have the Marne coming up as well, but I've overturned that a little. Concentrating too much on the Australia. So let's turn that and slow down a tad like that. Should be absolutely fine with that. I don't want to drop depth charges just yet. I want to get a little bit of a lead off. So let's increase our speed a tad once again and get the turn so our stern is just over them. And I think we're nearly there, should be okay. Yeah, let's decrease our turn. See the torpedoes on the map getting very, very close to our destroyers there. I think our alignment there is just right, so we're going to give them a little bit more lead. Just a little bit more lead, because they are, of course, still surging forward. Like that, and we should be absolutely fine for that. Lovely stuff. When is the ideal time to drop? I think just as our stern covers their bow, actually. So that's about now. So let's fire some depth charges off there and reduce our speed. There we go. There we go. Lovely stuff. Gets a nice little look on that. That's what you get. Oh, that is looking beautiful alignment. I'd love it if they exploded. There we go. Lovely stuff. Right through the ship there. You'd have thought they might... I didn't think depth charges had that penetration on them, to be honest. I thought they might explode on contact. But no, there we go again. Right through the ship. We're going to do that again. Oh, near enough, near enough. True armor-piercing depth charges there, just float straight through the submarine. You know, that's the most efficient way they work, of course. You know, they've got to make a hole in them because they are covered in water. So there you go, they act like torpedoes there. Of course, you know, that's the logic behind it there. But there you go, there's another destroyed submarine. And that was very close. I do apologise for not showing you right at the start of the engagement there. I was very, very, very tense, very scared, and there's the explosion there. So yeah. Alright, let's land these ruddy, bloody troops, shall we? Jesus Christ. Well, that's an interesting development. I launched some Mariners earlier to hit what looked like a supply ship over here, but as I'm sure you can see, there's a carrier icon just outside the Shortland Islands. My original plan was, once I've taken Vale of Aya, to actually bombard the Shortland Islands to reduce the airfield capacity over there. But what we're going to do is, of course, ignore the supply ship over here for now and actually take the Mariners over the aircraft carrier. We do see some fighters launched from it. I imagine that's from the carrier rather than the Shortland Islands, because we have, of course, destroyed all of the roofs from there. I do have some Wildcats en route to protect Task Force 17 there. We will see what happens with that. I'm just going to double check the range over here. It's not quite good enough. It's about 800 kilometers. We're going to bring our carriers up a tad because we don't need to worry about the submarines so much over there anymore. And then we can launch some fighters from our bogue to help out with that. We are looking to lose the Mariners here. Well, not looking to, but it implies I'm hoping to. But we are expecting to perhaps take some losses, is a friendlier way of putting it, if we come into contact with the aircraft carrier without any support. Not a problem. I'm absolutely prepared to lose those. I know some of you really don't like me throwing planes away, but I will make the argument that they do get resupply for free on our islands here. And I think a scouting mission of some sort is in order here, so we can have a look with that. We don't necessarily need to try and hit it if it's looking too dangerous, of course. So let's try and do that very quickly, and of course land over here again. We can see the launching torpedo bombers, so hopefully our Wildcats get into range before they do. We'll see what happens. Waiting for nighttime now. Looking like the better parts there. So that's actually what I'm going to do while I think about it. Let's pull back and we can either ignore it or come back at night time. Can see another submarine over here. That's possibly the one we tried getting with the air cobras earlier. Might try and hit that later as well. Alrighty then, so we have a massive air engagement here for you right now. Not enjoying this at all. We've spotted, of course, some Zeros trying to intercept us here. Are they armed with bombs? It does appear that they are. You can see the light bombs just under their wings there. I've ordered two groups of Wildcats to engage them. One group is going to the rear of us where we have got some Kates. So this suggests, I'm thinking the Shokaku is behind us, which is very, very worrying. That's quite likely what's at the Shortland Islands. Perhaps after this engagement we'll try and scout us out. But for now we need to try and worry about this. This is a top priority threat here. We definitely need to get rid of that Shokaku as quickly as possible. So yeah, it's gonna look rather dicey, unfortunately, rather dicey. Wildcats, as you know, I don't think they really stand up to zeros at all. Unfortunately, we have shot down another aircraft. Where is that to? The number 4 should be over here somewhere. Not a problem. Let's double check our orders over here, just making sure they're not doubling up on anything too much. That looks just nice to me. Lovely stuff. We do have a 0 in our midst. Over here, someone is going to get on the top of that. This Wildcat looking in danger from it though, so I'm actually going to tell it to turn away. Doesn't look too bad now actually. What we can do is reduce our speed here with that and let the 0 overtake it perhaps. And see what happens over there. This group, not too sure about that, however. I'm going to tell this one to attack finally. And this one is certainly on the back of another engaging 0. Let's tell it to increase its speed and try and get as far off a tad early, perhaps hoping that the 0 just flies into that stream. There we go. That was a good call, I think. Very nice call. We haven't come into contact with any more 0s. Let's double check the number, actually. So there's 12 planes out there. It's quite likely 6 0s and 6 Kates. Very nice indeed. Lovely, lovely stuff. We're getting on top of the 0s. Let's not waste around any longer. Let's try and double check our orders over here again. This Wildcat going for the number 6 over there. Lovely stuff. That's pretty much what I would have told it. This one goes for the number 1. I'm going to get this one. Yeah, that's on number 1 as well. Great stuff, great stuff, great stuff. This is on the way to number 6. So let's change it over there. And I think we'll be just fine with that. We have shot down 3 0s so far. I think we'll be okay over here, so long as our Wildcats stay on their targets and do as they're told for a change. Naughty, naughty Wildcats. We've lost sight of the Kates over here, so what's going to happen is actually I'm going to tell this group to form up on a Vic and bring them back over to the engagement over here, just to make sure they are not caught by surprise over there. So it's quite likely they're still in this position. In fact, I'm going to tell a Kingfisher to have a quick look over there, see what can happen. Actually, having said that, I'm going to break off a Wildcat very quickly, tell it to go full speed, and go straight over there. Don't need to sacrifice too much to what is possibly there and what is possibly not, of course. So getting on top of these 0s. Could I have one down here? No? Come on, keep going. Change your turn. There we go. Lovely stuff. And there is only one more 0 over here. The Wildcats. There's 2 0s. That is a lie. Absolute lie there. Let's get this one firing off a bit early. There we go. Lovely stuff. Tell it to stop. So there is now only one over here, and that is the honest truth there. On its tail here, might tell this group to just speed up, just to try and get it over there. Might fire a tad early, but that seems out of range, so it's not waste our ammo over there. I am worrying where these Kates have turned up to, because they were definitely spotted over here. I gave some orders specifically to go over for that. Our radar just quite likely being out of range now. But that 0 is absolutely wasted. I'm going to tell some groups to form up as such and fly over our ships once again. And they can actually do some scouting. It does look like we come into contact with the Kates actually finally, so we're going to tell people to attack them. Our Wildcat over here has just noticed them. He can stay scouting because we have, as far as I can tell, only got into contact with one group. We can tell the rest of this group to come over and attack that group right now. That would be great stuff. That would be rather. Let's go and take the number 1. Lovely stuff. It's a number 4 over here, which is scouting. That is great. I'm going to tell, of course, then, if we know where they are. Where is that? Reconnaissance. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. That's fine. It is all of them coming over now. So let's tell all of our groups to head straight over there and try and make contact with them. That would be brilliant stuff. And there we go, 12 out of 12 planes shot down. We're looking much safer over there. That is very, very lucky. Although that does mean they will have some zeros available over here. We are going to try scouting this out just to see exactly what's over there. Perhaps not hitting it. We'll see what happens. We may leave that for the next episode, actually. But I do want to make sure exactly what's over here. So I'll see you with that. Okay, so we have come into contact with that carrier group with our mariners. You know what? I'm very, very tempted to try and hit that, actually. I absolutely should go for it. There's no sign of any zeros about just yet. So what we're going to do is tell our mariners to go full speed. Not that that's particularly fast. And just go for it. Just do it. Just attack it. It does appear to be a Hosho, actually. Let's double check that. Let's go to carriers, and it should be CVL. Where is Hosho? Yeah, of course, the bow being particularly outstretched and narrow there very much gives it away. Let's target that. Of course, with the mariners not necessarily looking to sink it, of course. Be very lucky, actually, to get in there without losing anything before we drop. But level bombing is certainly the way to go here. And we've just got to take the opportunity, is all I'm saying. Certainly not the most strategically sound plan here. Very much with the slow lumbering targets of the mariners. But we just need to try. We really just need to try and see what happens. Not the best approach at all either. Going through all of their flak. But what can you do? What can you do? Just an aggressive scouting mission here, really, to try and fend them off. Perhaps put the flight deck out of commission. That would be ideal. So we are dropping. We're just going to tell them to carry on through a straight course, see what happens there.